Hey, welcome to episode 162 of Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. I feel so grateful to be doing this and have done 162 shows. Today I have an amazing guest who has navigated through many challenges. And um And as he talks, I invite you to be in awe of his story. It's phenomenal, but also think not only of the challenges you've been avoiding, which we often do when we hear inspiration, think, oh gosh, I haven't done that, and that's important to think about, but also think about all the challenges you've navigated through and how resourceful you have been. So often we don't give ourselves credit for what we've done in life and kind of idolize other people for doing amazing things. And I'm all for idolizing, all for celebrating other people doing amazing things, but also celebrate the amazing things you do. I invite you to do that, and I invite me to do that. So that was an awkward pause. So back right after this.
Today's guest, Nick Yerhart.
Well, welcome back to Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. Let me tell you about Nick Yerhart. Nick Yerhart is a remarkable entrepreneur, an abilities and life coach, and author. Nick's unwavering dedication to reshaping the narrative. Oh well, Nick has unwavering dedication to reshaping the narrative around individuals with special needs, as he lovingly says, individuals with special abilities. Nick's extraordinary journey is not defined by his diagnosis of cerebral palsy, whether his journey is marked by his relentless mission to empower billions of people to enhance the quality of their lives, embrace self-love, and unlock their potential. Please help me welcome a man who's doing great things and who I imagine you'll hear a lot more from over the years to come. Nick, yay!
Hello, Jason. How's it going today?
Hello, Nick. It's great. It's a sunny day. It's kind of cold, but it's beautiful.
I've got the same thing here in Minnesota. So, yep.
Cool. We live in the same region, and I was lucky enough to meet you a few months ago, and we could talk a lot about Minnesota and South Dakota, but man, you have an incredible story. So how does your story begin?
So, I would say my story begins when I was about 1 year old and I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And, my mom was a young mother and, she didn't really know what all that entailed. And the doctors actually told her that I would never walk, and more than likely, as I got older, I would have to be put in a home where somebody could take care of me full time because I wouldn't be able to take care of myself. And as a parent, I can't imagine what my mom was thinking. That's hard to get told that your child is, you know, disabled. So, over the next like 3 years, I went through a lot of different testing and, physical therapy and all that. Um, at the age of 4 years old, my dad asked me if I wanted to learn how to walk on my own. And, of course, I said yes. So, over the next, I mean, it had to have been
So,
six,
so up to that point, you had a wheelchair.
yes, yep, I had a wheelchair up until that point. So, over the next like 6 months to a year, I'm not really sure how long it took, but my mom and dad would work with me every day. They would have me hold their hands and walk around like this, so then I could kind of get a feel for walking. And then eventually, I was actually able to walk on my own at like 5 years old. So
I mean, that sounds like just a substantial challenge. Do you remember when you were when you were doing it, when you were practicing every day? What was your attitude like?
yeah, I remember a little bit. I was so determined to be able to move around on my own that like every day when we would practice, like I wanted to do it, and then after a little bit, I got a walker, so I would hold the walker and walk around, which really helped strengthen my legs up. And then the biggest challenge with me was always balance. I couldn't really balance on my own, but once I learned that, you know, I was able to walk on my own. And over the years, balance is still a thing that I struggle with. I'll lose my balance still, and I'll just fall over. You know, but I can say I am an expert at falling down. I've got that down. I know how to fall.
Eh, And spoken as someone who has had falls, it's an important skill because
Yeah.
falling the wrong way can really not be a good thing. So
Yeah, I've had a lot of bad falls where I get pretty hurt. So you know, over the years, you definitely learn that when you know you're going down, make sure you're going down the right way.
when you know you're going down, make sure you go down the right way.
Yeah,
Because the temptation, I guess, is when we're falling is to try and resist
hmm,
what's happening.
yep.
But does that help or
Not usually. I feel like if I try to stop it, it makes it worse. So usually, like if I lose my balance, I know I'm going down, and instead of like trying to recover, I just make sure that I put my arms in a safe spot and just fall, and then obviously always get back up. That's the most important thing. Always get back up.
so learn how to both fall as safely as possible and then learn how to get back up.
Yep, exactly.
I want to go back to something you I mean, this is going to be such a powerful hour because you said so many gems just in the first few minutes. But you said it took you a year of when you were practicing every day.
Hmm.
1 year. It's a lot of days. Like I've in the past, I sometimes practice something for 4 or 5 days, and if I don't get it, I've said, "Hey, I'm not good at this," and and I realize now that I had no idea if I would be good at it or not. What I did was quit practicing, so I don't know. So,
Yeah,
but what made you keep practicing? It's a rigorous routine to practice every day for a year.
I just kept practicing because I knew it's something that I needed to do for myself, and I just really wanted to walk. You know, it sounds like a simple task to most people. Most people learn how to walk at what age 1, if not before. Like you know, now I'm 4 or 5 years old, and I still can't walk. So I had the desire to walk, and I think that's when I first learned to never give up on something that you want. Always I push forward. Now I know I was young at the time, and I wasn't thinking about it that way. But looking back now, if I wouldn't have done that, who knows what my life would look like now. So that's why now, as an adult, I'm 32 years old, and when there's something that I want to do, I don't give up. I make sure that I continue practicing or learning to make sure that I can get to that point that I want to get to.
You, you just said if you wouldn't have done this really hard thing, the, who knows what your life would look like now? If you hadn't have done the thing, who knows what your life would have looked like now?
Hmm.
And sometimes experts with great education and and maybe even very well meaning will tell us things like that really don't serve where we want to go in life. A doctor told your mom that you would not walk.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think it's important that you always use your own judgment when it
Mm.
comes to things like that. You know, you might get told you can't do something. Well, you need to figure out on your own if you can do it or not. Don't let somebody else tell you how to live your life. It's your life, not theirs. If I went to try to walk and I would have never walked, I would not have anything that I have known. You know, like I have my own house that I bought 7 years ago. I've had a full time job since I was 16 years old, and like I drive a car. I have a commercial driver's license, so I can drive garbage trucks and dump trucks and things like that. You know, that would have never happened if I wouldn't have learned how to walk way back when I was 4 and 5 years old.
So you defied the experts, but but another character in this story that fascinates me is your father. Like like at 4 years old, I mean, he knew what the expert had said.
Mhm.
He knew that. He knew much more about a position of a doctor and the education than you did at the time. But your dad said, hey, son, do you want to learn to walk? What do you think made him or inspire him to defy the expert opinion by offering you the option?
I think he just wanted his son to have the best quality of life possible. So my whole life growing up with my dad, he was always the one pushing me to do more. You know, keep keep striving to be able to do more. Like my whole life, you know, he's the one that taught me how to run equipment. You know, I can operate a skibbler, tractors. I've operated a crane, like all sorts of
You
different.
operated a crane?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. But yeah, like I just I always loved machinery. And the funny thing is my dad's way of teaching me how to operate anything was he would say, "Here's the machine. Get in it and figure it out. If you break something, let me know." That's how he taught me. Which it was I look at the time I would always get irritated because I was like, why can't you just show me? Like, why do I need to figure it out on my own? But now looking back, that gave me a life skill that I use every day, and that is solving problems.
Mm,
That
mm,
taught me how to solve any problem
mm.
by getting in any piece of equipment and figuring it out on my own. Like now I can literally, you know, get any task thrown at me, and I'll figure out my own way of doing it. And my way usually isn't like everybody else's would because I have a disability, so like I can't use my hands like everybody else. My legs don't work as good as everybody else, but I always figure out a way to make it work for me, regardless of what it is. So I'm super thankful that he, pushed me to figure everything out on my own.
So so you're constantly figuring out innovative solutions for your unique abilities.
Yep.
How do you mentioned that has expanded your problem solving skills, but how else has that do you think that has expanded your thinking process? And
I would say, like it gave me the power to look at any like problem or obstacle and be determined to figure out how to accomplish it. Like um, for instance, I have a cell phone and it's hard for me to use my fingers. I can type with my fingers one finger at a time, one button at a time. But what I found for me is it's easier if I use my phone with my nose. So I literally put my nose to my phone and I type and everything else. And I can actually type with my nose faster than most people can with their fingers.
so did you learn this from a YouTube video or from a course or?
Nope, I figured this out on my own. Like, I was just I this was way back when I was probably 13, 14 years old. I got my first touch screen phone, and it was difficult for me to hit the right buttons on the phone. So then one day, I don't know, my phone was just sitting on the table, and I just decided to use my nose, and it worked really good. So then over the years, I got really good at it, and now that's the main way that I use my phone.
So many people and myself at on many occasions in my life we get locked in one way of thinking about something or doing something get locked in learning about how to do something by watching one set of videos or reading one book or something like that, but you've literally had to go beyond that and teach yourself to consistently go beyond that. How did that translate when you coach people?
So when I coach people, one thing that I help them with is, figuring out how to overcome their problems. And the main thing that I like to talk about is there's more than one way to solve any problem.
There's more than one way to solve any problem.
Yes. And when you can look at those other ways and then figure out which way works best for you, your problems become easy. Like, I've got daily problems. I deal with problems every single day of my life. And a lot of my problems are not problems to people that don't have a disability. But I overcome them every day because I look at the problem and I go, all right, what's going to be the easiest way for me to accomplish this? And then I sit and think about it, and then I'll go, okay. So, a normal person would use their hands for this. Well, I'm going to use my mouth. Like it's just things like that, Like I can give an example. So I have a coffee pot that takes those little K cups. So you put the cup in the top and it makes your coffee. Well, I can't get my hand in there to get the K cup out. So what I do is I put a fork in my mouth, like the part that you hold with your hand, and I actually poke it into the top of the K cup and pull it out with the fork. Now, I've never seen anybody else do that, and I'm not sure if anybody else has, but that's what I do every single morning because that makes it easier for me.
I know you love making videos, and I just have to say that could be an inspiring video about solving problems in unique ways. And
It's kind of funny that you say that because just this morning when I was doing it, I was thinking that I was like, hey, I should make a video. So the next time that my friend is over, I'm gonna have him record me doing it. So then,
oh,
it'll turn out a lot better if I have a camera guy than if I try to do it myself.
yeah, it's hard to yeah. So I'm thinking of myself and listening to. I am a speaker, but I've also listened to a great many through my life, and it's tempting when we're sitting listening to someone and hearing them do amazing things, like you're figuring out amazing adaptations to start thinking, yeah, but Nick is doing that because he's so confident, because he's smarter, because he's more resourceful, and to kind of talk ourselves out of actually being inspired for ourselves, and put the person talking up on a pedestal.
Mhm.
What would you say to someone listening who might be doing that?
So I can say this: about 2 years ago, I was not like this. I was depressed a lot. I did not like who I was. I hated the fact that I had a disability, and I thought it wasn't fair that I was born this way instead of like most people. It really took a toll on me, and you know, it was just hard. Like, I'm 32 years old now. This was when I was like 29, 30 years old, and I was just I had had enough with my life. So I had two choices. I could give up, or I could improve my life. Thankfully, I chose to improve my life. So what I did is I started to find, like, I think I just Googled like how to be happy or something, and there's a lot of things about listening to a podcast. So I was like, all right. And then another thing that I was interested in is real estate. I've always liked going and looking at houses, so I was like, hey, I wonder if I could, get into real estate. So I started to listen to a real estate podcast, and then one day they mentioned another podcast called the Mindset Mentor. So immediately I went and checked out that podcast, and Rob Dial, who is the host of that, he just he talks about like everything, like how to have a growth mindset, how to love yourself, how to stop being the victim, just all these different ways to improve your life. So at that point, I started to listen to him, for hours every day, and just applying what he was saying to my life. And over time, I was like, okay, I need to stop feeling bad for myself and start to love who I am. So I would start practicing self love, just being thankful for who I am and what I am able to do. Because there's a lot of people out there that are worse off than me. So I should be thankful that I can do everything that I can. And, it was about a year of listening to him. I was like, all right, I need more. So then I st- I got my own life coach, a couple of them actually, but they really taught me like how to live a better life regardless of your circumstances. You
Hmm.
know,
How
just
to live a better life regardless of your circumstance. Well,
yeah, it didn't matter who you were, it didn't matter what you were going through. Like the steps that they took me through, it can apply to anyone. So I'd say the beginning of this year is when I really started to love who I was, and then through that coaching program, one of my coaches actually told me, Nick, you should really think about being a coach yourself. You have a powerful message and a gift to connect and inspire others, in a way that nobody else can. And I was just like, "Well, I can't be a coach, I up until this year, like January 28th, I think it was. I had never recorded myself on a video. Like,
Up until till this year, you had never recorded yourself.
yeah,
Never.
never. Because like I've had my family record me, and whenever I saw the recording, I I just did not like it. I did not like hearing how I talked. I didn't like how I looked, how I moved around. I just did not like it. And then, this year, my coaches, they pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I started making videos, and
So
then
you made like 3 or 4 videos.
yeah, I mean, I think the first week I did two, and then I didn't do another one for a couple weeks, and then after that, I literally started posting a video on social media every single day, at least one a day. And do you want to know what that did to me? That increased my confidence 110% because I got so much feedback of how great I am, how much I'm inspiring people, how I'm helping them in their lives, and that just like I was like, all right, this feeling that I have right now is amazing. And I want to do more of this and keep helping more people improve their life. So, yeah, I've continued to post at least one video every day on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Like, I put myself all over so I can inspire as many people as I can.
So since the beginning of the year, roughly how many videos do you think you made?
I I want to say we're close to 300. I mean, you
Close
figure,
to 300.
yeah,
So at the beginning of 2023, you had you've been filmed a few times, like in January of this year, you have been filmed a few times, but didn't like it. But now you've made 300 videos. You've posted them all over the place. You're helping people all over. That's
yeah,
a big accomplishment. I mean, that's like learning to walk, and you've done that in less than a year.
yeah, yeah. And the way I look at it is, why should I stop myself from, getting out of my comfort zone when I know that if I do it, I'm going to help other people. So I need to not be selfish, and I need to treat it as my duty and obligation to help other people. And that's what I'm here for. I just want to help. My goal is to help improve the lives of 1 billion people.
Not a million people, not 100 million people, 1 billion people.
A billion people. And I say that number because there's 1.3 billion people in the world that have a disability. So I want to reach most of them.
How about people who don't have visible and auditory disabilities like a whatever speech. How
Mhm.
about people who don't have noticeable disabilities like you and I do? Do you want to reach them?
Of course I do. That's why like my number 1 billion that covers anyone. It's not strictly people with disabilities. Now, my specialty when I'm coaching is to mainly help parents that have kids with disabilities,
Hmm.
help them, have the confidence to help their kids, and then help them give their kids confidence to do more in life. Because what I've seen over the years is a lot of parents, I mean, any parent does it really. You try to shelter your child, keep them safe. That's all good, but your child also needs to figure out what they can do on their own.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when you have a disability, it's even more important to figure out what you can do at a younger age because it's a lot easier to learn when you're young than when you're old. You know, for me, it's a lot harder for me to do new things now than when I was little. But when I was little, didn't even really have to think about it. But now it's like that's difficult. So that's why I want to help parents, just inspire them, show them what is, achievable for their child. And just make sure that they know that the doctors and the experts aren't always right. There's more hope than you think. And one thing that I like to focus on is having a good, positive mindset. If you attract what you think about. So if you're always thinking negative, you're always thinking my child will never be able to do this, or I could never do this. Guess what? You're never gonna do it. But if you think my child will be able to walk, or I will be able to walk, guess what? More than likely, you will be able to walk.
As you talk, like your dad's wisdom, of course, comes very much to mind. Like you are where you are now. You are where you are now because because he started by asking you a simple question: son, do you want to learn to walk?
Yep. And for most people, like you say, it's a simple thing. But for me, that one question shaped my whole life.
That one question shaped your whole life. So sometimes I'm getting so much from that. Cause sometimes we think to help a loved one, to help a friend, or help anyone, we have to come up with this complex and innovative solution and be really smart about it. But your dad changed the whole trajectory of your life by asking you a simple question.
Hmm. Yep.
That's good from me.
Yeah. My dad was an amazing person. You know, he's my hero. He always will be. Um, Unfortunately, in 2019, he passed away due to a brain cancer, which he fought the cancer for 5 years prior.
Mm,
Um, that was the absolute hardest time of my life was in those 5 years because
yeah.
my dad, it's brain cancer. It affects your brain. So some days you're yourself. Other days you're a totally different person. And it was extremely difficult to be around him at that time because I didn't know if I was going to be talking to my dad or this other person. Like it was extremely hard. He fought so hard, and no matter what, he was always there for me, regardless of how he felt, regardless of how sick he was. I knew that I could always call him, and he would be there to help me with anything. You know, and that's how my dad was my whole life. You know, if I needed his help, he was always there and always willing to help me any way that he could. But he would not just hand me things. You know, if I wanted something, he made sure that I worked for it, you know, because he wanted me to learn how to work for what I wanted. And I'm super thankful for him. It's there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of him. You know, it's a constant, struggle. It doesn't get easier, but you learn how to deal with it, and that's what's important. You know, we all lose people in our lives, and it doesn't get easy, but you definitely learn how to cope with it and deal with it. And the amazing thing is, I feel my dad with me all the time. So, and I feel like he's guiding me through life still. And it's been 4 years since he passed away. But
He sounds truly, truly wonderful.
yeah, he was.
So, so, Nick, you must live in a major city like Chicago or New York or Boston or San Francisco, maybe. Are you surrounded by an entrepreneurial community, a mindset community?
No, not at all. So I live in Austin, Minnesota, which is
Is that 1 million people?
no, that is 25,000 people. It's a small little town, and it's so. My dad started a garbage company back in 2009, and I worked there for 10 years until we sold it shortly after he passed away. Um, but like I learned so much in those 10 years about entrepreneurship and running a business, owning a business. I've seen the ups, I've seen a ton of downs, you know, and it's hard, and but that taught me. My dad taught me like one thing that I never implemented into my life until like this year, and that is how important your network is, how important the people around you are to your success in your life. My dad was always meeting, important people, other business owners, the people that ran the town, all that. And I didn't really understand it at the time. My dad was just a friendly guy, so I just thought it was what he did. But now looking back, it's like he did that for a reason because he was learning from those people how to improve his life, his business, and his family's lives. So one thing that I think my dad gave me shortly after he passed away is he sent me Grant Cardone. If you haven't heard of Grant Cardone, he's a motivational speaker. He's big into real estate. He owns multiple different companies, and what Grant's mission is to help uh, 8 billion people. So every person on earth, his mission is to help everyone. So
Wow.
shortly after my dad passed away, I started to watch Grant on YouTube. And Grant's very loud, very obnoxious, but I loved, just who he was. I loved how loud he was. And this last year, so it was end of last year, so December of 2023, um, I got an email from Grant because I signed up for something on Facebook, and it was inviting me to be a part of one of his programs. And I was like, oh, okay. So what it was is it was a web webinar. It was a free web webinar, and then going through the webinar, you have the option to get into a program with them. And I was just like, I think this is what I need to really change my life. You know, remember, end of last year is when I really started to want to improve my life. So I got into that program with them, and the cool thing about Grant is he yes, he likes to make money, but that's not why he's doing it. He truly wants to help other people improve their lives. So that first investment that I made, it was during the webinar, and like an hour into the webinar, he's like, "All right, so for everybody that made a decision and joined my program, I'm giving you your money back." I was just like, "What?" Like this was $1,000 that I paid. And he's like, "Yeah, give it back to me because it's important to make decisions really quick when you know it's going to improve your life." So from that point forward, I was just like, all right. So anytime that I get a chance to do something awesome or improve my life, I jump on it, regardless of how much it costs, regardless of how busy I am. If I know that it's going to improve my life, I can commit to it and I invest in myself to improve my life. And then Um, a few months later, I got a call from his team, and they're like, "Hey Nick, how would you like to be a tennis business coach?" So what this is like they train me on how to be a coach and how to help people. I was like, "Well, hey, that sounds awesome." I already been told that I should be a coach, so this is another sign that is going to improve my life. So I said, yeah. So again, I invested in myself and I got into that program, and I they've taught me so much. Like I could talk for 24 hours on everything that I learned from them. But the gist of it is they teach how to handle your finances, how to have a good mindset, how to run a business, or if you work for someone, how to improve your life at work. How to show up better, how to add value to other people, and then obviously how to be a coach. That's important. So I'm now a certified 10x business coach. So I can coach people on basically any topic. It's pretty incredible what they teach you in this program.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 'Cause- 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 '
What is the 10x part of your title about? What's the significance of that?
So the significance of that is I'm licensed to use Grant's material or like his courses to help other people. So not only can I help people with everything that I know personally, but I can also use his material to help them as well. So, like for instance, if they are in a sales job, I can teach them a sales training course. And this is material that I didn't have to create. I have access to it, so now I can use that to help other people.
So,
And
so you have curriculums almost too. So it's not like a coaching session where someone comes in and you ask them what's on top today and just go from there. You also have a structured curriculum, right?
exactly, I do both. So, like for some people, it will be simply a coaching one on one. That's what some people need, and then other people who want to improve their success in life, those people is who I help as a tennis business coach. So, like, if you own a business or you're in sales at your job or anything like that, if you want to improve your increase your income and increase your like what you do at work, how valuable you are, that's when I can use the tennis business coach license and really help them. But yeah, otherwise, for anybody not interested in that, the people that want to just improve their life, improve their confidence, help their children, that's where my one-on-one coaching is the best because that takes everything that I know.
Well, it's awesome that you have options for clients depending on where they are and what they want.
Yeah.
So before we go, you have a few phrases that I just need to cover. You say it's not a disability to me, it's different abilities.
Yeah.
Can can you what do you mean by that?
So everybody's still used to the phrase disability. I still use it too, but I prefer to say different ability because when you have a disability, you also have different abilities that other people don't have. You can do things that, let's say, quote unquote normal people can't do, or if they try, it's very difficult for them to do it. So yeah, I believe that we all have different abilities, and I believe that your abilities are infinite.
What do you mean by abilities are infinite? Because like the naysayer in me wants to say, hey Nick, I cannot flap my arms and fly up in the air.
Yes. So I say that because I believe that whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish. So, for instance, you say you can't flap your wing or flap your arms and fly away. Well, I bet you if you tried long enough and you came up with some sort of mechanism, I bet you could fly. You know,
Talking that was spoken like the problem solver you are, and I can imagine we don't have time to get into it, but I can imagine the wheels are already turning in your head about how might this work.
and I'm already thinking like I bet there's a way you could attach something to your arm, and we could fly a little bit at least.
So often as humans, we just say no. No, I can't do that. Instead of saying, I bet there's a way. Let me think about that. Let me try some things.
Yeah,
It's a whole different life experience. No versus what can be done. It's very different.
yeah. I mean, I don't like to say no. I like to look at everything with a yes attitude. Like, yes, I can do that. I don't know how yet, but yes, I can. You know,
A lot of people say I don't know how, but you add the word yet. I don't know how
yeah,
yet. And that changes. That sounds like that changes the trajectory of.
yeah, it really does. You know, it's all about having that growth mindset. You know,
Hmm.
just believe in yourself. Believe that you can accomplish anything that you want. And if you believe long enough, you will accomplish anything that you want.
Because you will think of a solution.
Exactly.
So it's not only mindset, but it's mindset coupled with a determination to learn how to walk, if you will.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, powerful, very powerful. So in my business, I talk about doing my imperfect best. Talk to audiences about it, and what that means to me is we envision the best we want for our lives. I envision the best I want for my life, and go towards that. And when mistakes happen, when obstacles happen, instead of using them to say, no, I'm not doing this, I learn from all that and move forward. What does doing your imperfect best mean to you, Nick Yerhart?
So to me, what comes to mind is not being afraid to fail. We're always so worried about failing that we never try new things and never, reach for what we want. The way I look at failure is I cannot fail unless I give up. There is no such thing as failure if I don't give up. If I if I so-called fail at something, I don't look at it like that. I look at it as okay, what did I do wrong? How can I improve? And how can I do better next time? So I don't fail. I just don't because I don't give up. If you don't give up, you're never gonna fail. So that's what it means to me.
What I'm getting from you, and I've never thought of these words before, is there's no such thing as failure if you create a next time.
Exactly. Yep.
Wow, powerful. Well, so you're simply amazing. Thanks for being on the podcast. What's the best way for people to connect with you?
So I have a website. Just go to nickyearhart.com, or you can find me on basically any social media. Just search Nick Yerhart and I'll pop up. If I don't pop up, I apologize. That's my fault. But I can about guarantee that I will pop up. If you can't find me, just search the Nick Yerhart, and then I will pop up.
You're lucky to have the last name Yerhart, because if people just type in Jason Freeman, a lot of Jason Freeman's pop ups. But
Yeah, I'm the one and only Nick Yerhart.
that's amazing.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your determination. Thanks for your vision and what you're walking into with helping so many people see the best in themselves, and that they are really infinite if they focus their mind and problem solve in the direction they want to go. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Actually, I hope it was awkwardly awesome.
Yeah.
Because I have a image to keep up with, so I hope no.
It was very awkwardly awesome.
Awesome, thank you, Nick.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It's amazing how inspiring people come into our lives. Like, I was in Austin, Minnesota, doing a gig, and the person who brought me in said, "Hey, there's someone I want to introduce you to." Like, she said it on the second day I was there over lunch, and I'm like, sure, because I love meeting new people. And Nick and I just got to have a 20-minute or a half hour conversation. Half the time I was preoccupied because I was trying to figure out a technical problem. But luckily I say yes to having him on the podcast, and this is the first time we've gotten to talk for an hour. Isn't his insights and his approach to life extraordinary? I mention all this to celebrate Nick, but also to encourage each of us. It can seem so difficult to meet the people we want to meet in life, but sometimes it just happens really, really quickly if we pay attention, and if we're willing to say yes to continuing the conversation. So anyway, those are my closing thoughts. My other one is re-listen to this recording if you want, and so you can get more of Nick's wisdom. It's just so amazing and so many layers to it. And thanks for tuning in, whether you're watching live or replay. And please tune in next week for another amazing guest. And smile as often as you